I'm back, baby. Guess who's back? Back again. Brother Run. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's black? Guess who's back? Guess who's black? I hope y'all can hear me now, man. This has been a crazy time to be alive. But I'm still out here kicking it. Well, I'm not out here. I'm inside my humble abode, just trying to stay warm. Everything that can happen is happening because it's 2022. I know how we do in 2022. This is Brother Ron, and this is We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. That's News Free Dixie for the 21st century. I hope y'all can hear me loud and clear. Man, we have some delays. Let me know if you can hear me out there. But the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. The devil, not the devil, the devil. The devil is a liar. And I am here and I'm on fire. Not real fire, but I've got this passion. So much adversity trying to get the word from Brother Hurd. I'm trying to spread the word from Brother Hurd. Please subscribe to We All Be TV, News Free Dixie for the 21st century. I hope y'all can hear me out there. I don't even know how many people are listening to the sound of my voice. This is a true Mercury retrograde. What had happened was that actually my computer started, neglecting me. Like, it's like a woman that's hot and cold. It's like you too, me too. I don't know what's going on with you. Computer been acting funny for the past couple of days. Turn it on, it turns off. Turn up, turn off. Turn up, turn off. Turn up, turn off. Okay, so I've been dealing with that. Computer, I'll be working on stuff, and the computer cuts off on me. I don't know what's going on. The battery seems to be okay. Other things seem to be okay. But I gotta get it checked out. I got my own health issues to deal with. Trying to check out this computer, but it is a Mercury retrograde. It should be expected at this point. And so I've just been dealing with classic Mercury retrogrades for the last several cycles. But this too shall pass. But it's still a blessing to be around. Just to even do this right now with y'all, share this info or my point of view is still a blessing to be able to do it at times like this. A lot of things people are checking out of here is like the big rapture. It's been going on. People disappear every day. People been leaving every day. Like Baba Dick Greg was talking about all the missing black men. Black men gone missing. All right. A lot of stuff going on. So be grateful for the moment. That's all we have. The past is past, but it's never past, as you should realize. The present is a present. It's a gift. Make the most of it. So that's what I'm trying to do. Under adversity reveals who you are to yourself. Real adversity. It doesn't develop character. It reveals your character. So I'm doing this for the first time on my smartphone. Like I said, man, we have an ice storm right now, or whatever's going on outside. The weather, it's interesting about the weather. They playing God out here. I think Northern California just had an earthquake a couple of days ago. Then you had Georgia, not that far from the Tennessee-Georgia border, a town in Georgia experienced a little small earthquake. But they've been doing a thing called fracking in Arkansas because Memphis is on the New Madrid fault line. And we're due for a big one anytime soon. Don't know when, time, or the hour. The last big one we had was back in the early 1800s. It was so powerful, it made the Mississippi River run backwards. It made the mighty Mississippi run backwards. Right now, the Mississippi is drying out, or it's trying to get some water, but it's dehydrated. The mighty Mississippi is dehydrated right now. But it ran backwards the last big quake we had. And then it also formed a Real Foot Lake. this big deep lake in Tennessee was formed by that earthquake back in the 1800s. Around the war, the 1812, I want to say back in the 1810s, we had our last big one. Elizabeth, the big one. I'm coming, Elizabeth. You know what I'm saying? But man, I remember I went to Bob's homegoing. Had a chance to see former Defense Secretary William Cohen. I thought he was Jerry West at first. You know, the famous Laker Mr. Logo for the NBA. Really needs to be updated, to be honest with you. But that's another story. But he was a great basketball player. I thought he was William Cohen. I mean, I thought he was Jerry West, but it's William Cohen, Bill Clinton's former Secretary of Defense. Took a picture with him. And he said in a speech back in the 90s that they do have the technology available to weaponize the weather. This is back in the mid-90s. Though y'all should be knowing about HARP and all this stuff. They got probably some way more advanced, sophisticated technology. They'll make HARP look like Atari or early Nintendo, like Atari or something like that. So you don't know what they're really doing right now. Then they playing God in other ways, trying to travel to different portals and different planetary systems and stuff. I don't know what's really going on, but also people should have been helped. Like with the Trump thing, I know it's funny. It's hard to really talk to black people, the olders. I don't always call them elders. I call them olders. They're stuck in their ways. This thing about hating Trump and all that, I don't get it. I don't look at Trump as my savior. I know some of you may think that, but I look at him as a more acceptable option than the one we got in the White House, who's good friends with Casper the Friendly Ghost. I mean, he's shaking hands with people that ain't there, but they may be there to him, but they ain't there to us. We can't see them. So he must have some special superpowers or something. Maybe Professor X or something. I don't know. But I don't have the hangups over a Trump thing. I think it's weird that black folks got this thing about Trump. I think it's weird that black folks want to tell me about John Birch Society when you pay taxes to the IRS, when you still trust the FBI, when you vote for people that say you're not black, if you don't vote Democrat, even though Democrats invented the Ku Klux Klan. And this guy was trained by Dixiecrats, like the Robert Byrd, who was a Grand Wizard out of West Virginia, something like that. He was one of the top Klansmen out of West Virginia. Robert Byrd, longtime Democratic senator from West Virginia. John Stennis, James Eastland out of Mississippi. James Eastland was the one, Senator Eastland was the one who basically cared to assassinate Emmett Till and his father from the grave. He released classified military documents talking about what happened to Louis Till, Emmett's father, during World War II. He was convicted in a kangaroo court overseas, accused of raping and killing white women. Under questionable circumstances, him and his co-defendant, Fred McMurray, died, I want to say July of 45. I think they were hanged or either shot or hanged. July of 45, and almost just 10 years, his son get killed. Like father, like son, but Eastland made sure that those white boys, J.W. Milam and Roy Bryant, never faced a day in jail or faced time in prison. Leaked that information to the press. You know, Mamie Till tried for years to get information about what happened to Louis Till, her ex-husband, her baby's daddy. The only way she could identify her son's body was by Louis Till's ring. So I don't even know. Let me check. I'm curious now. I got so much stuff happening, going on. I don't know if y'all getting this or if it's coming through loud and clear. Y'all probably went to sleep. I don't know what's happening, man. But I'm trying. I'm trying to deliver. Somebody can type in the chat if y'all can holler if you hear me. Or text if you hear me. Text if you hear me, goddamn it. Nobody knows the trouble this is. Nobody knows the difficulties. Nobody knows the trouble this is. to try to communicate with your people. It's not y'all fault. It's just you know, using their tools, using their platforms can become a problem for you to do what you got to do. But we all be in it to win it. So I'm just trying to make sure that this is coming in. I'm not hearing no feedback from you all out there in social media land, in YouTube land. You know what's interesting? I don't look at local news that much. I don't look at a lot of mainstream news. I get my news from the people. And really, that's a blessing to be that connected with the people, to get news that you can use. Because y'all tell me what's going on. Even in my own city, I got folks from around the country, they'll tell me what's happening around the corner from me. I have no clue. Okay, brother, run. I can't, my thing ain't updating on my phone, so I can't see what people saying over here. All right, brother Ronald Truth Hunt. Okay, what's going on? Now I'm kind of paranoid. Okay, I see y'all can hear me. Hello? Okay, I see y'all can hear me. Okay, I can see me. Y'all can hear me. I'm just trying to check the screens. But yeah, thank you, brother Ronald Truth Hunt. Thank y'all for tuning in. Sister Sheila, thank you so much. But Adambi, I know you be, I think Adambi, I'll promise, please forgive me, but you've been hanging in there with us. Yeah, Ronald Truth, we can make that happen. You know that they got me in trouble last time. I uploaded the last one we did. That same day you reached out to me, I got kicked off there and suspended me from broadcasting. So I don't know what we talking about that they fear, man. But I think, you know, next time we need to really start thinking as a people to get behind our own platform. I know people have tried in the past to do that. But we need to start really thinking about how we moving. And like I said, people talk about agent provocateurs and stuff like that. Social media is the real agent provocateur. If those Twitter files have not proven to you all already, the feds is watching. The feds is tweeting. The feds is Facebooking. The feds is Instagramming. The feds are Snapchatting. The feds is watching, man. The feds is watching. They watching. The feds is watching. Because y'all, it is weird. It's counterproductive at this point to worry about who as an individual is an agent and who ain't an agent, because people are already oversharing like it is. People are oversharing everything. You know, people giving up information that they had to work for back in the day, to infiltrate organizations. Somebody asked me about these hip hop, like the Young Thug situation down in Atlanta, the Young Slime Life, whatever the YSL organization, whatever it's supposed to be, the RICO charges that Young Thug is facing. Gunna got out just in time for Christmas. It's beginning to look just like Christmas. So he's out of prison. He said he ain't a snitch, but everybody be snitching. And this is not a new phenomenon. You always had snitches and turncoats and rats and informers at the highest level. It's like, if you even look at, you don't have to go that far back. Snitching has always been accepted. Whether we know that or not, I'm not a street guy. But I do know that a lot of people, that street folks, that people idolize. Some of the biggest snitches, informants, turncoats. You think about even somebody like, because rappers love the mafiosi, the mafiosos and all this stuff, like to name themselves Gotti and Capone and things of that nature. But if you even think about Sammy the Bull Gravano, who was John Gotti's second in command. We call it, I don't know, it was consigliere. I don't think he was, but he was his right-hand man. And Sammy the Bull sold out John Gotti. Got him before he shot him. They sold him out, and he had no problems. And Sammy the Bull is an unapologetic gangster. You know, he went back to prison for running some type of drug ring out west. Got out, pays his dues. Now he's an internet celebrity. You know, he reinvented himself once again. He's not hiding from anybody. John Gotti been dead. John Gotti been dead, what, for 20 years? Can't believe it been that long. I think John Gotti died in 2002. But Sammy the Bull out here living his best life, making money and things of that nature. You understand? Sammy the Bull doing his thing. And nobody's trying to get him. He's out there free as a bird, you know. But back in the day, you know, he's a snitch and all this, but he did what he had to do. Even look at Whitey Bulger. You know, Whitey Bulger, the white Irish gangster, the gangster from Boston. The movie The Departed is based on. That's a great mob movie. To me, the Departed was better than The Irishman. You know, Martin Scorsese, that movie, the Departed, was better than The Irishman. You know, he had Jack Nicholson. Well, Jack Nicholas or Jack Nicholson? Okay, man, it's like I can't even look at my phone. I think it's Jack Nicholson, right? Or it's Jack Nichols? Jack Nicholson, one of my favorite actors. It's funny, like, because you keep on thinking about the Mandela effect. Was it Jack Nichols or Jack Nichols? Jack Nicholson. You know, y'all talking about the guy who played that great Joker back in Batman from 1989. This my iconic roles of his career, but his mob character was based on Whitey Bulger, who had a comfortable relationship with law enforcement, in particular the FBI. You know, he'll tell them things about certain folks, they tell him things, and they allow him to operate without any problems. Then towards the end, you know, he got caught because I believe his girlfriend at the time was getting her hair fixed out of Cali. Thank you, brother Jermaine. We love you madly. For long day at CPS, hoping you went live. Yeah, I'm live now. And what I'm going to do, because, like, you know, with this thing with StreamYard, I thought they had a way. It's my first time doing it on my cell phone, smartphone. But I thought that they had a way to, you could play tabs of videos and show pictures. They haven't got that far in their journey yet, which was unfortunate. That's why it took me so long to get back on this. I believe this is the third time I tried to get on tonight. And they don't have that capability yet, but hopefully they'll have it soon. So this is definitely a classic Mercury retrograde. I got two computers. It's kind of like not acting right. They can't act right. Normally my dependable computer is down. And this other computer I got fixed not too long ago. I don't know, because of the Wi-Fi issue, because of the weather, because of the ice storm going on, whatever's going on outside, it's not working. So hopefully that can get resolved, because I want to do some more live shows before the end of this year. I can't believe we're at the end of this year already. But Whitey Bulger, Jack Nicholson, right? It's Jack Nicholson. Y'all see, I can hear me. Okay. Okay, Nicholson, thank you so much. Yeah. I forgot it's weird. You get older and stuff. I see what people talk about with brain fog and stuff like that. Nobody can recall certain things. Like, it's kind of hard. That's why now I'm interested in this stage of my life, trying to write more things down, document things, get into book writing. I'm gonna read. I got y'all my computer open where I can see y'all chats, because it's not refreshing on my phone what y'all saying in the chats. I thank y'all for y'all support, the moderators, the long-time customers and supporters. With you, I love madly. He said Joe Jack based his character on Whitey Bulger, who was a known snitch informant, and he was a boss. Even you go back to Lucky Luciano. You know, people love, he's the El Capo de Tutti Capi, right? The boss of bosses, the visionary behind the modern organized crime, La Cosa Nostra, right? He was snitching on people. Even before he got caught up with the white slavery charges that sent him to prison, he was looking to do about 30 to 50 years in prison. When he was a younger guy, he was snitching on folks. When he was pushing dope, he was snitching on his people because he had a reputation for being a snitch, which is interesting because he had to approach his mentor, Arnold Rothstein, the legendary Jewish gangster who's the godfather of organized crime. He had to give him advice on how to repair his image in the eyes of his peers because he was known for telling. So he followed the advice of his godfather, Arnold Rothstein, because y'all got this thing about Italians, they the ultimate gangsters, but now they always had some Jewish guys around handling the money and all that other stuff. Every mob, you look at Lucky Luciano had MarALago. You look at Al Capone had Greasy Thumb Guzik, Jacob Guzik, the Greasy Thumb, Jacob Guzik. I know his last name is Guzik, or was Guzik. You look at all them guys, they always had Jewish guys around. They always had Jewish guys around handling the money, doing other things for them. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, Lucky was known as an informant. Even when he was helping Uncle Sam during World War II, he was informing, right? So, you know, y'all mad at Tekashi 6ix9ine, and Tekashi's still alive. He like George Zimmerman still alive. But Trayvon is dead. Tekashi's still walking around here. Young Dolph is dead. Nipsey Hussle dead. P&B Rock, and so many of you guys that's gone. But I'm glad we could talk about this now. The hip hop thing. Like I said, I don't get my news from local news. Y'all be telling me what's going on in my own city. You understand? Y'all be letting me know what's going on. Let me before I get too deep, let me see. Stacks on deck. One, you said Trump's connection to white separatist groups is my biggest issue, especially since these extremist groups seem to be increasing their activity, like the attacks on electric grid. Here's the thing, man. Trump benefits from the chaos, right? But he ain't the first white man. He won't be the last white man to benefit from this organized chaos known as the system. Y'all talking about white separatist groups. Why is it that the Ku Klux Klan and these white separatist groups, these white nationalist groups are still around, but they got rid of Marcus Garvey, United Negro Improvement Association? Don't tell me that United Negro Improvement Association still exists. Where is their strength? When black folks getting beat up and killed in these streets, where is an organization that stands for black people, so-called black people in this country? There's none. Don't even say the NAACP. That's been a long time ago since they took some real stands when it comes to black people. See, sexuality, all this stuff trumps being black in this country. There's no protection for black people. There's no repercussions, or consequences when it comes to doing things to black folk. We are not protected. And the people that look like us, these so-called positions of leadership and power, they're not doing their job because they're not leaders. You know, y'all keep on thinking that Representative so-and-so, Mayor so-and-so, Senator so-and-so, whatever, they the leaders. They're not the leaders. They're the gatekeepers. Whoever put them in that position, that's who they answer to. Whatever entity or individual put them in those key positions are who they answer to. And if you didn't put them in those positions, they don't have to do anything for you. If you don't give them an agenda to adhere to follow through on, they are not leaders. Y'all keep on. That's why we can't get. That's why it's hard to talk to black people about real politics. That's why it's hard to talk to elders about a Trump and not get so emotional about it. Because Trump did not invent redlining. Y'all keep on talking about he didn't let black people stay in his rental properties or whatever. He didn't invent it. He benefited from it. His father benefited from the system allowing the mistreatment of black people. He didn't invent mistreating black people. He benefited from it because he's a product of capitalism. Capitalism has nothing to do about fairness, about ethics. It's about exploiting people, services, resources to get what you want. Black folks have always been a great source of exploitation. We're a very powerful resource for white supremacy as well as a system of racism. Now, this system is not a white supremacist system. It's a racist system. And racism has nothing to do with hate or your emotions. It's about power, privilege, leverage, everything but how you feel about a person. I know racists that may not hate you for being black, but you in their way and they don't care about your feelings. So it'll get to a point where we gotta stop worrying about who they like me. And you gotta say, well, show me the money or show me the door, or show me where I need to go, I get it myself type of mentality. That's what it's gonna take for us to get beyond where we at now. But all this voting stuff, voting don't mean nothing if they don't respect or acknowledge your vote. I don't trust none of these elections, to be honest with you. Both sides cheat. But like Joe Kennedy, the patriarch of the Kennedy family once said, it's not a crime unless you get caught. So therein lies the rub, right? So with the Trump thing, I don't really care. I don't know the man, so why I hate him. I don't even hate Joe Biden, but the type of rhetoric and type of this outrage that people have for Trump should be reserved for Biden. Biden proved through his track record what he thinks about black people. He proved that since he was a young senator. He became a senator at the age of 29. So he's been doing this for decades. He's 80 years old now. So he was 29 when he was elected, and he's 80 now. So he's been destroying black families for decades through policy. Before Bill Clinton became president, at least Bill Clinton did apologize for not having the foresight or the wisdom to see how his 3 strikes policy over crime bill would affect black people. I'm not gonna say people of color. I'm talking about so-called black people. Black people. We need folks that are gonna say black people, not people of color, not BIPOC, black people. And I ain't gonna get this argument. I know we were Indians and all that. I know some of us came out those boats. But the thing about it is, if you get your knowledge from the people who exploit you, they're not obligated to tell you any truth about who you are. You got to find out who you are. You got to find that out. They're not going to tell you. Because if you know, then you know how you're supposed to be treated. Then you know what to ask for. Then you won't say stupid stuff like, we don't need no money. We need whatever the system can give us to get what we want. You need whatever. It's not for you to say what you don't need. It's like if a person wants to apply for the naval, naval credit union, so Navy Federal Credit Union, they tell you when you apply that you need to have somebody in your family, either you or somebody need to be service connected, right? You got black folks say, I can't apply for Navy Federal because I don't know nobody. My father said every black person, we all related. You know that, right? We fought in every war. I don't have to prove nothing to these white folks. My folks, I actually can name my people who fought in the Civil War, who fought in the American Revolutionary War, black and white. My great-great-grandfather, Frank Moon, was a U.S. colored troops from Mississippi. He was from Tunica County. They got a place called Moon's Landing. The plantation where he's from, it still exists, Moon's Landing. Frank Moon and his 2 brothers, one was his twin, and his other brother, they signed up to be U.S. colored troops. He lost his twin brother from injuries he sustained from the Battle of Vicksburg. Both of my grandfathers, my paternal and maternal, served in World War II. I could name people that served in the American Revolutionary War. My truth does not need to be validated by anybody's ignorance. I should be able to go as a Black American, as a so-called foundational Black American, as a so-called American descendant of slaves. I should be able to go to Naval Federal Credit Union or Navy Federal Credit, whatever, and just put in my application and say, you know what? I'm a Black American. My people have suffered and sacrificed enough. Even if I cannot name a name of a relative that served, every Black person from this country got a relative that served somewhere in the family tree. Black folks have sacrificed enough for this country, for our patriotism not to be questioned. You got folks that have sold out America over like crumbs. I'm talking about CIA, FBI, military people who have sold out America for crumbs, for the pay off a car note or cable bill. And y'all think that's funny. I'm not lying. These folks, you find out what these folks would sell out America for. You said, what? My God. Right? See why I like about 24, the show, the TV show 24? I can identify with Jack Bauer, the lead character that Kiefer Sutherland played. Well, Kiefer Sutherland, whatever. Okay, I'm trying to see something. Look at all types of weird stuff going on. I'm trying to get through this live. I don't know, my phone charging is connected to my computer. I don't know if it's really keeping a charge. It says it's keeping a charge, but then it say the battery's low. I've been on about half hour, but I can identify with Jack Bauer, right? Kiefer Sutherland. What's his name? Sutherland, whatever. His famous father, Donald Kiefer Sutherland or Sutherland, whatever. I can't look on my phone, whatever I'm talking. But Jack Bauer really represents Black America. We've been loyal to this country from day one, and yet the country continues to screw us over and don't acknowledge our loyalty or commitment to said country. Does not officially acknowledge our sacrifices, our loyalty and commitment to said country. See, Jack Bauer is really how Black America is being treated by America. It's Stockholm Syndrome. It's not just with Trump. Trump benefited from how America has treated Black folk over the generations. But Trump actually is a businessman. And he's always looking to make the best business deal for himself. And he respects people that know how to make business deals. Dave Chappelle did a brilliant job on Saturday Night Live. He did not throw Donald Trump under the bus. He gave Donald his propers, right? Sorry about that, folks. Like I said, I'm going codes and everything. I don't know what's going on. I'm congested. But he said that Donald Trump was an honest liar. Donald Trump is an honest liar. It will make him a great businessman and a great politician. He told us the game was rigged. I was telling people this 5-6 years ago. Donald Trump told you that the game was rigged. He never said it was not rigged in his favor. People hear what they want to hear. It's like with Ye, with Kanye, Ye. You hear what you want to hear. Y'all call the man crazy, but if the man lost $2 billion in one day, he didn't kill himself. When the court said that he got to pay Kim Kardashian $200,000 a month in child, and she's supposed to be a billionaire. But Ye was told by the courts to pay $200,000 a month for his kids. He didn't do a suspect DJ Twitch, did he? No matter how much money allegedly that Twitch lost, he didn't lose no $2 billion. I could safely say that. But Kanye is the crazy one. Why he ain't off himself yet? Why Ye never? So y'all got to think about what y'all saying. You got it, because like y'all be saying, well, he shouldn't have said nothing. He lost his bag. Don't you know the history of this country? Regardless if you mind your business, Regardless if you mind your black business, white folks got a problem with it. Whether it be Tulsa in 1921, Elaine in 1919, Rosewood in 1923, whether it be Oscarville, which is now what? That weird lake down in Georgia, right? They don't care if you quiet. They don't care if you mind your business. If they want what you got, they're going to take it by any means necessary. So it's interesting that black people, we can fight for white folks' interests all day long. We could defend Jerry Jones. I got no problem with Jerry Jones either. We could defend Joe Biden. We could defend all these people, even Strom Thurmond, like Al Sharpton and them. But yet, when it comes to your black self, you make all type of excuses why we can't trust Negroes with reparation check. But yet, you trust banks with your savings, right? You could trust banks that you have a checking and savings accounts with that will use your money for their own investments, but yet they won't give you a loan. You could be with a bank for 30, 40 years. They could use your money for investments. But when it comes time for your black self to try to get a loan from same banking institution, they can look you in your eye and tell you no. But they've been using your money for years, getting their own money. Y'all kind of weird to me. But yet Trump is the problem. Trump did not become a senator at 29. He's not 80 years old as president of the United States. Biden has done so much damage to black folk. Y'all got Stockholm syndrome. Ain't nothing you can really tell me about Trump that's going to scare me. Matter of fact, the establishment is afraid of Trump too. Because what y'all don't realize, the same day he released those NFT baseball cards of himself was also supposed to be the day that they released the last of the JFK files. They are, you talking about Trump, they are bogarting, or whatever, bogart, they are defiant. They're breaking the law. This was made law back in 1992, that all the JFK-related assassination files must be released to the public by October 26, 2017. Now, Trump came October 26, 2017, came and went. Trump released some files, but a lot of that was redacted, right? Redacted files. So they supposed to be released December 15th, right, of this year, the same day that Trump released these baseball cards. So what did Trump have down in MarALago that got these folks shook? Like Dave Chappelle said, he stole things from work. But you know one thing he never stole from work is work. Trump had a conversation with a Judge Napolitano. Judge Napolitano asked Trump why he did not release all the JFK files. He said the public has been waiting to know the truth. And Trump basically told him that I can't do it because it's stuff in there, I just can't do it. Now, as much as y'all want to call Trump dumb and reckless, how come he didn't release all of what we need to know in those files? Because like Jack Nicholson said, right? Jack Nicholson, in A Few Good Men, you can't handle the truth. Y'all think Trump is the bad guy. Trump is a necessity. Trump is helping the free people to be themselves. This idea of a Trump to say what's on your mind and to not bow down, to not back down from the consequences. Because a lot of y'all will say, well, I talked to some black people. Well, it's some stuff he did that was right, but I don't like how he did it. That's some emotional, my daddy didn't treat me right, he wasn't there for me type of crap. Give a damn about how he said what he said. But here's the thing, take what you do is the way that you do it. It's an old Jimmy Lunsford song. But that's weird to me, because to me, most brilliant people are crude, are unrefined. Only people that don't know how to think for themselves take pride in being refined, in being told what to do without questions, without questioning why we do what we're doing. So that's 40 minutes in. But now the Trump thing, like I even told Dick Gregory, I found a New York Times article from June of 1927. It's online. Take a look. It's online. About a Fred Trump being arrested by the NYPD because he was fighting police. This Fred Trump was a member of the Ku Klux Klan. They had a Klan rally in Queens. Donald Trump is from Queens. It's weird because of all the people that was arrested, they made notes of a Fred Trump being arrested from Queens. You know, Donald Trump's father was a real estate mogul. He's like whatever Joe Kennedy was to the Kennedy family, Fred Trump was that to the Trump family. They built a family fortune through unethical means, allegedly. Like Lucky Luciano said, behind every great wealth, there's a great crime. Behind every great wealth, there's a great crime, right? That's the American way. You do understand that, right? Whether it be Joe Kennedy, whether it be Fred Trump, whether it be Jack Daniels, right? Who really taught Jack Daniels, right? Okay, so think about that. That's just the American way. Grand Theft Auto at a high level. You dig what I'm saying? Trump may be a time traveler. There's a lot of things to suggest that. You got to look at his connection to his uncle, John Trump, who was told by the government to look into Nikola Tesla's notebooks that he left behind in his hotel room up in New York back in January 1943 when they got rid of Tesla. It was Donald Trump's uncle, John Trump, longtime MIT professor and scientist, who was tasked by the U.S. government to look at his notebooks. Donald Trump, that was one of his favorite people. He used to talk to his uncle a lot. I think his father helped finance his uncle's education, if I'm not mistaken, Fred Trump. Then you look at Roy Cohen, a creature of the swamp, you know, who was a legal counsel for Senator Joseph McCarthy, one of the most powerful people in America back in the 50s for a couple of years. Joe McCarthy was real close to the Kennedy family. He was a favorite of Papa Joe Kennedy. He dated the Kennedy sisters. He is the godfather of Robert Kennedy's first child, Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, the former lieutenant governor of Maryland. Roy Cohen saw something in the Donald, and he helped King make Donald Trump. Donald Trump was prepared to be a president. Donald Trump is a Gemini. Did Greg talk about two Trumps, right? JFK was a Gemini, you know. So Donald Trump knows a lot of stuff that they're afraid that he's going to put out there. So the day that he put his baseball cards out there, they sold out, was the day they supposed to have released the rest of the Kennedy files. But the thing about it is the files they're holding back has to do with the CIA. I be hearing people talk about, now they want to say that Robert Kennedy killed Marilyn Monroe. We do know that Robert Kennedy was in Los Angeles the same night that Marilyn met her demise. But did he really do that? The reason why we know Robert Kennedy was there, because a car that he was in with Peter Lawford, his brother-in-law, and one of Frank Sinatra's Rat Pack friends, was stopped by the police. And they recognized Robert Kennedy in the car. But does that mean kill Marilyn? Marilyn knew a lot about stuff from Pillow Talk. She knew about UFOs and all types of stuff she should have been known about because who she was sleeping with. The people that she was sleeping with. She wasn't a dumb blonde. She was highly intelligent. You know. But I'm getting out. I'm talking about black men, right? And I'm talking about this in a way. But Trump has been persecuted like nobody I have ever known to be president in my lifetime. Bill Clinton was treated with kid gloves compared to Donald Trump. Obama was not treated like this. No president during my lifetime has been treated like Donald Trump has been treated like, for folks to call him a fascist. If you was a fascist and you was like a totalitarian person, he would not have been canceled on Twitter. He would have still been president today if he was what y'all said he was. Y'all keep on falling for the okey doke. How is he this tyrant? If he should have been like Joe Stalin. Should have been, you know, for life. Should have been president for life. But yeah, he's not president. And it's questionable why he's not president. But what those baseball cards prove is that there's a group of people out there that still loves this guy, that still wants him to be president. I doubt that Joe Biden can sell baseball cards of his likeness within one day and make almost $5 million. I don't believe Uncle Joe knows he's president. But getting back to the Raptors, right? I'm on here. Let me see. Yeah, Jack Nicholson. Okay. Thank you, D. Wynn. We love you madly. Keep up the good work. I love it. Thank you so much. I can't post y'all comments on here because my phone is weird. They are very limited what I could do. I'm trying to do it on here. Let me see. Thank you, D. Wynn, for the donation. We love you madly. Y'all can keep on donating cash out. Get my stuff fixed. So, yeah, why is this thing not interesting? This is okay. Mega Blocks TV. He said no reparations, but we about to give like more than 44 billion to Ukraine, right? Yeah. But who's in there cheerleading for us? We got no leaders, man. We the people are the leaders. That's why they don't properly educate us about civics and about history and about knowledge itself. They don't want to empower the majority of us. And, you know, it could be average American citizens in general, but also Black people. They do not want us to be empowered to demand things. Once you know who you are and where you come from, then you can expect, you train people on how to treat you. You train people. People learn how to treat you by how what you allow people to get away with. People learn how to treat you by what you allow them to get away with as it concerns you. And that's real talk. But if you don't know who you are, you can't stand on a foundation as strong as and confident to demand things. It's like Frederick Douglass said, power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has, it never will, but you got to stand on a foundation of knowledge of self. And that's what we're not getting. That's why these kids and even grown folks were walking zombies. Because we don't understand or understand who he is, who your people is, where you come from, where you at, and where you could go. We have no understanding of that. Your imagination is more powerful than any weapon they can produce. Your imagination is more powerful than any expectation they can have of you. Even in sports, Shannon should not have allowed Skip to get him that mad last week. Shannon is an all-time great football player, one of the greatest tight ends of all time. Skip barely averaged 1 point per game in high school basketball. Who is he? Right? The thing about it is, you got to look at it like this. When Adolph Sax invented the saxophone, that was cool, but he didn't. You can't tell me that Adolph Sax could foresee a Coleman Hawkins or Sidney Bechet, Charlie Parker, John Coltrane Sonny Rollins, Albert Aller. Name your greatest saxophone guys. Did I say Charlie Parker? He couldn't see how they were going to be able to extend or expand the concept of what a saxophone could do. See, white man, he probably didn't invent no sax, but they will give him the credit, right? That's like the real person that helped invent the light bulb and the phone was not no Thomas Edison or no Alexander Graham Bell. Is that Alan? It was Lewis Latimer, a brother from the DMV, I think, whose parents was enslaved black folk. Lewis Latimer invented the filament to make the light bulb last. He designed the first telephone. A black man who folks were enslaved did that. They don't ever talk about him. It's like with Dr. Naismith. They say he invented basketball, but you can't tell me he could see a Wilt Chamberlain or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Michael Jordan, LeBron James or Magic Johnson coming along. They was using peach baskets and stuff. You couldn't see all the stuff. Steph Curry. The first three-pointer in NBA history happened in 1979. The NBA still wasn't used to the three-pointer. One year, the whole league shot over 100 three-pointers. 100 three-pointers were made in 1 year by the whole league. I think Steph Curry in the 2015-2016 season made over 400 three-pointers on his own. Steph Curry made over 400 three-pointers on his own. I think that's year one unanimous MVP, but they lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and his wife said the game was rigged. Luckily, she's still alive. It was like, that's a death sentence because your man's the first unanimous MVP. But at one point in the league, back in the 80s, the entire league shot or made 100 three-pointers. But then one man makes over 400. It's like Babe Ruth out hitting the whole league in home runs one season. One man hit more home runs in the season than all the teams in the whole league. So that's like, it's interesting. How can you conceive? It's your imagination. Just my imagination running away with me, right? So black folks got to learn that if you don't have no imagination for what you can be, then you can't expect the white folks to know what you can be. They have no expectations of you. And that's what we got to realize. Like when you used to tell people, you got to work 10 times as hard as a white man. White man ain't working that hard. It's like y'all really believe Eli Whitney, a privileged white man, invented the cotton gin. Dick Gregory told y'all he didn't do it. You only invent things to make your life easier for you. Ain't no well-off white man invented no cotton gin who never had to pick no cotton. Guys started using common sense. The reason why they created the patent office was to steal the creations of black people. Roger Taney, the head of the Supreme Court, told Dred Scott that you nor your descendants have any rights that the white man is bound to respect by law. That includes any claims to intellectual property. And Dred Scott is buried outside of Ferguson. I call it Dred Scotland. I call St. Louis, Missouri, Dred Scotland. Okay? So, let me talk about what I need to talk about. I'm just looking at the. I want to talk about the Romeo and Master P thing. But first, let me talk about what happened, the breaking news. What I got on here. A couple stories I want to talk about. And what I'm going to end up doing, because I have visuals and video I want to play, I'm going to cut this presentation up like I've been doing and add all my special effects of what I want to put in there later on. because this is really like, this is interesting. This is like a classic Mercury retrograde for me. Like, you know, it's like the powers that be want to shut me up and shut me down, which is interesting. But I'm one of God's favorites. So I'm gonna embrace that and keep it rolling. Let's talk about Big Scare or Big Scar. Big Scar, the brother who lost his life. I didn't know he passed. Good sister Darian text me about another Memphis rapper gone. I said, what? Cause I took a black power nap. So I was looking at my phone. I saw a text from Darian, and she said another Memphis rapper gone. And I had to Google. I said, who gone now? So many Memphis rappers been passed. As Young Dolph happened last year, but it's about several Memphis rappers. They have bit the dust this year. And it's Big Scar character. Big Scar, 22 years young, man. This man died at the age of 22 on December 2022. December 22nd, 2022. This man died at 22 on December 22nd, 2022. That sounded like a blood sacrifice. And then what was weird was that Gucci Mane, he broke it. He broke the story. No major news or local media broke the story. It was Gucci Mane that broke the story that his artist from Memphis, Big Scar, aka the Big Grim Reaper. What a name, right? Big Scar, also known as the Big Grim Reaper, passed on, man. 22. And people were saying they don't know what happened. I said it could have been nobody killed him, because it's like, the police reports or something would have been out. The news would have took a hold of that. Had to be something else. People say he died of an overdose. And it kind of reminds me of Juice WRLD. You know, Juice WRLD, the very popular Chicago rapper. And I don't trust these drugs, man. I don't do drugs. I don't do alcohol like that. I was at my cousin's graduation party last week. I had a great time. Shout out to Centrice Mason, Elavia Matley, one of her lady friends. My cousin's way younger than me. She could be my daughter. You know what I'm saying? She was born in 2000. And her best friend's 24. So she'll call me Uncle Ronnie. I said, Uncle Ronnie. I said, ain't your uncle, man. What I want to do to you may be illegal if I was your uncle. But she said, Uncle Ronnie, what you be drinking, man? Like, you out there dancing? You out there doing the karaoke and all? What you be doing, man? Like, how you get so lit and turned up? I said, it's natural. I don't need drugs and stuff and alcohol to get turned. I'm just a life. I'm a vibe. I'm a movement by myself. I'm a vibe. I'm legendary when it comes to being myself and having a good time. I don't need alcohol to not get like, I'm not afraid what people think about me. I'm 42 years old. I've been who I am for a long time. And I love having a great time. I'm like Genuine. Genuine is interesting, but I dance. I'm the same old run. Same old run. Ooh. I do all that stuff. I be doing my flips and stretching and stuff. But regardless of what I go through, I have a good sense of humor about things. As I get older, I become more patient and reflective, so I could try to extend that kindness towards other people. I've been learning how to be more forgiving towards myself. It's not important. I know it sounds weird to say this. It's really not important if people accept your forgiveness. That's their business if they do or don't. It's more important to be able to forgive yourself, because you got to live with yourself. Regardless if people don't accept your apologies or you say, hey, please, I apologize. They don't. You got to be able to forgive yourself, because that's important. I understand now There's a lot of people out there hurting out there. It's unfortunate a lot of creative people that know how to express themselves can be targeted for all types of substance abuse and all that type of stuff. Because I mean, when you're an artist, you're a real artist, you gotta be able to be open to receiving the good and the bad and the ugly that a lot of people tend to ignore or not acknowledge. You gotta have a certain level of sensitivity to be a true creative, because how can you relate to people if you can't? I feel your pain. I feel your pain. You can't be empathetic or compassionate, but at the same time, you got to protect your space, your energy, and you got to value your time. And that's something I've been learning how to do as I get older. I have been giving away a lot of myself to help empower other people. And a lot of times it's not reciprocal. And it could be a drain and a wear if you always the one giving and nobody's willing to give back so you can receive as well. But that's part of the situation we a lot of us find ourselves in, especially around the holidays, or y'all call the holidays. I call the holidays. But look at that big SCARR. I was not a big fan of his music. I heard of his name thrown around because a lot of hip hop and all that stuff is geared towards younger people. Now, Big SCARR came out 20-something years ago. I probably have more listens as it relates to his music. But what's shame and sad, a lot of times I don't find out about these gifted guys and girls until they dead. You're nobody till somebody kills you. Forgive my voice, congested. What I have heard of Big SCARR not too long ago, he sounds good. Pooh Shiesty, great rapper to me. Memphis got some very talented rappers, man. I mean, we got just an unbelievable range of talent as it relates to rap in this city. Nobody got what Memphis has, but everybody wants it, man. It's just like Moneybag Yo, Finesse 2 times. I love Key Glock. You know, and unfortunately, Big SCARR was supposed to go on a big tour with Key Glock starting in March of next year. The Glaucoma tour. They go doing 2 months. And I noticed all the cities they hit. They even hit to Nashville. They was not going to hit Memphis. And I don't blame them. Memphis is a weird place to be in. So many talented individuals in Memphis, yet so much hate. And I'm in Memphis too. I know about the hate. There's so many people that be looking at me to fail. There's so many people benefited from the God work I've been doing in the city, not just doing podcasts or live streams. I'm actually doing work in the city. You got folks that know, they hear my names be ringing out in certain circles, but they won't help, or they want to sabotage, or they want to talk, you know. And then I see these same folks at these events that my organization organized. Smiling faces, right? That's Undisputed Truth. And what I love about Memphis, it makes you strong for life. You got to deal with adversity very early in Memphis. A lot of extremes, extreme prejudice, extreme poverty. A lot of abundance of talent, though. That's what I love about this city, but it needs a visionary. Needs a group of visionaries and doers for the right things that's going to move this city to the next level. It's a plantation town. It's like you look at the Negroes in this city, in this area, it reminds me of a battle royale, not what you see on WWE and all that wrestling. I'm talking about the real battle royales was back in the day, like the opening scene of Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. And if you never read Invisible Man, please read Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. That's your homework assignment. The opening scene deals with battle royale. This is when you have a group of black men in the ring. They're blindfolded and they're punching each other lights out. And the last person standing receive all the money that's thrown at them on the ground by the white men. They showed this scene in the Buddy Bolden movie that came out a couple years back. Also in the James Brown biopic, they had a battle royale scene as well too, where they blindfolded black boys and black males. They punch each other blindfolded. The last black male standing gets all the money that the white folks thrown at their feet. This is really the system that we live in as black people. But a lot of times we sell ourselves out for less than a cold pork chop sandwich. A cold pork chop sandwich, some of you Negroes will sell your own kin for. And this is the city, man. Like, it's weird. You know, my people from South Memphis, you tell the difference between a South Memphis person and a North Memphis, which is weird. South Memphis is interesting. North Memphis is interesting. Like, you go to North Memphis, a lot of places, North Memphis, like it's the Midwest. Now, we the Mid-South. But it's like I'm up north somewhere in places North Memphis. But South Memphis is interesting too. But it's talent all around the city. And Big SCARR say a lot of potential, but they try to say it was a drug overdose. He did a live before he passed on today or yesterday, where he was kind of discombobulated. You know, he had his car parked, but he was smoking something. I guess it was marijuana. And then they say he had some Percocet they took, and he OD'd off. Well, you don't know what you're really taking with these drugs. People should not take no drugs because you don't know what people couldn't. See, what the thing about the street drugs, a lot of times it's not the drug itself, it's what they use to cut the drug with. Like people had things like calendar worming, they were cut drugs with a couple years ago. They got a lot of people sick or even dead. Then with that the fentanyl stuff they put in drugs and stuff, you don't know what you're really getting from these drugs. You don't know if people sell you the real deal or something very dangerous and fake. But I would advise people not even to mess around with the so-called government weed. You know, this government has a history of sterilizing people. This is well documented. Our government sterilized a lot of our people. Even about Tuskegee experiment, where it allowed black men to suffer with syphilis for decades. They passed that along to their women and to their family. You destroy their genetic pool. Or maybe you made them stronger. Because we're all like mutants, right? You don't know what you're drinking and what you're eating or what you're breathing in. Because people say, well, this is hereditary. It's hereditary because I'm dealing with environmental racism. Environmental racism is hereditary. You know, those people across the tracks, that's hereditary, right? It has nothing to do with, like, from a biological standpoint, is what you've been exposed to in your environment. That's messed with your genetics. So we got to have a real conversation about stuff like this, but I'm not going to have tonight per se. But, you know, Dick Gregory, you talk about, they put enough manganese in your malt's liquor to kill your mama. Food could be medicine or could be poison. We all know that very well. Eat to live or live to eat. But I don't really judge nobody. I think it's weird that folks want to worry about what somebody plate. Let them do what they're going to do and let God sort it out. You know what I'm saying? It's people that's vegan and vegetarian could make it to 50. It's folks that ate bacon and ice cream every day. They live to be 100 years old. They smoke cigarettes. They ate bacon. They ate ice cream every day. And they live to be 100. You got folks that don't eat no meat, can't make it to 50. So the thing about it is, if you don't control your own food supply, then you don't control your destiny. If you cannot control your education, if you cannot control your food, you can't control your destiny. So black folks, we gave up on our destiny when we left the land. And for a lot of reasons, because of white state-sponsored white terrorism, but we gave up our right to self-determination when we left our land. We stopped growing our own food. Because even the black farmers, you know, you think about the black farmers still struggling. that Roundup that was given that's causing cancer in people, but yet they use Roundup to poison our lands to grow our food. Y'all worry about, do you eat enough greens and you drink enough water, got enough lead in you, got lead, got milk, got lead, man. So the big SCARR, he called himself the Big Grim Reaper, or his first album under Gucci Mane label. Gucci Mane label was what? Big Grim Reaper. Your words create worlds, man. These rappers are casting spells. They're speaking death into existence. I see death around the corner, ready to die. If I die tonight, man, I listen to Young Dolph album. That stuff is fire. The Young Dolph album. But Young Dolph had a line in one of those songs. I can't remember the song right now. But check out the Young Dolph album that just came out December 16th. He had a line in one of the songs about, I'm making like sacrifices for the family. I'm ready to be with my grandma. He said, I'm ready to be with grandma. And I'm making sacrifices for the family, and I'm ready to be with grandma. This grandma had a May or had it May or whatever. And now he's dead. He spoke that. I'm not saying that he's responsible for his death. But he said he's ready to be with grandma. And now he's with grandma. And y'all think he's gone to the other side. Whatever y'all believe it, I don't know. But these rappers are being used to sow poison into the community. I love rap, actually. I can speak on it about these entries because now I can appreciate, I see the Lord's Tucker as I approach 50. Now I can appreciate a Reverend Calvin Butts, excuse me. They ancestor stars now. But I can appreciate where they were coming from. Well, I could not appreciate it when I was a teenager in my early 20s. But now you have seen the destruction that been brought upon Black people through this death culture, this death style we got. It's not a lifestyle, it's a death style. Look at all the great talent we lost in hip hop. Think about Juice WRLD, who was Young Dolph's cousin. Juice WRLD, the way he died was crazy. He didn't swallow all the drugs because he didn't want to go to prison. He was afraid of jail. Prison. I mean, I'm not even sure was God bless dead, but this is something about dying young. He knew he was going to die young, according to the song. He has a type of weird love song. I'm talking about a girl, don't love me, I'm dying soon. It was like, just one after this stuff, I just can't listen to all that. It's like a triple X, you know, it's Tentacion Young guy. Very talented, very morbid. Like he's every album poem, something like that song he did about the girl from Cleveland, a beautiful young woman that visited in Florida. They committed suicide not too long after that. And now she's immortal. That's a proper song he did in honor of her. I guess he felt bad about her killing herself. But if you look at her, and she's gorgeous. She got a life ahead of her. What she got going on that she want to kill herself. But a lot of us are killing ourselves with these drugs, with our lifestyle, what we eat, what we tolerate. We choose to die. I guess you are born to die. Some die faster than others, but with the music, man. I mean, look at what happened over 50 years ago. You think about Sam, I think about Sam, but Otis Redding. They wanted to control their destiny. And it was taken out of the chessboard by the powers that be. I know this to be true because I just, how they died, and what they were doing before they died, how they were moving, how they was influencing the people in the circle, things they were doing. Nobody dies now. That's what show business. So with the brother who just passed on, big SCARR guy, he was a sacrifice to me. Who benefited from the sacrifice? I mean, Gucci Mane, he stayed making these tribute songs. I love Gucci Mane's tribute song. Look at the people, Young Dog, Take Off. I'm sure you're gonna do a tribute song for Big SCARR. And Gucci just had a child, a son, that was born named Ice Davis. That was a beautiful son named Ice Davis. One of his artists, very popular artist, Big SCARR, dies during the ice storm on December 22nd, 2022. At 22, not saying anything, but I'm looking forward to Gucci's tribute song to Big SCARR. I'm looking forward to that. But also, he's going to be on King Glock's 2 Block Home coming up in March. And from my understanding, King Glock is devastated. King Glock lost Young Dog, and then he lose Big SCARR. How does King Glock benefit from this? Not saying that they did anything. I'm saying how they benefit from these losses. I'm talking about the sacrifice. I'm not talking about that they actually did anything. But you look at Big SCARR, you think that could have been avoided. They chose to, do certain things that we all choose. Some leave sooner, some leave later. We all got to leave the party. We all got to leave at one point. Last call for alcohol, Percocet. I read something about Future, the rapper. Very talented rapper to me. Future could be like a bebop musician up there with Charlie Parker and Max Roach. The way he be flipping other people's beats to make his own original music, I think is impressive. It'd be like some no nonsense stuff he be saying to me, but he understands how to ride it. And I think Future don't even use drugs. I read something somewhere. I don't know if it's true, but if it is true, it doesn't surprise me. Future doesn't use drugs. He gets paid to name drop certain type of drugs. And rappers always get paid to name drop certain things or brands. I mean, I don't know if Run DMC were getting paid at first for my Adidas. We know Nelly did Air Force Ones, dropping Ciroc, dropping all types of alcohol. I mean, they selling, they could be merchants of death. But they will pay Future to drop those names like Percocet and all that stuff in his songs. That's what I read, but I remember like reading about these